Hollywood Studios has changed a lot since its 1989 opening. It's had a name change and a whole bunch of changes that went down over here in the park, and some that are still happening today. And just in a couple days on May 1st, it's going to be celebrating its 30th anniversary. But one ride is really the reason why the whole theme park was created in the first place. So today I'm going to be telling you guys the history of the Great Movie Ride and why it is the whole reason why this park is here today.
The Magic Kingdom. This, of course, is the place that most clearly reflects the man Walt Disney.
Epcot Center, Walt Disney's greatest dream, is now a reality.
This is the Disney MGM Studios theme park at Walt Disney World in Florida.
Hello, I'm Michael Eisner, and I am proud to join all the animals and characters in welcoming you to Disney's Animal Kingdom.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Back in 1982, the second theme park at Walt Disney World opened. Epcot Center was divided into two completely different sections. There's World Showcase, which celebrates humans and cultures around the world, and Future World, which showcases the new technologies in our world and is divided into different themed pavilions. Well, in the early to mid 1980s, Disney was planning on adding 2 more of these Future World pavilions. Led by Imagineers Randy Bright and Marty Sklar, they came up with the Wonders of Life Pavilion and the Great Moments at the Movies Pavilion. The Wonders of Life Pavilion was going to be all about the human body, and it had a green light to start production over at Epcot. And the Moments at the Movies Pavilion was, of course, going to be about the movies. The pavilion was going to be put in between the Land Pavilion and the Imagination Pavilion. It was going to take guests to have an inside look at how movies were made and also enter the films themselves. This was seen by Disney CEO Michael Eisner, and he was very intrigued about this. He liked the idea a lot, and so he had some more plans for it. So he basically set it aside for some more future development. He thought it was such a good idea that he thought this could be a good enough idea to build an entire theme park around it. Also around this time, there was talks that Universal was going to be building another theme park, but this time in Orlando, just a few minutes away from where Walt Disney World was. Some people actually think that the reason Eisner wanted to make this into an entire theme park in the first place is because he heard about Universal's plans to build a theme park in Orlando. And basically, he wanted to be the first one to have a theme park in Orlando based around movies. Disney would plan the park and start construction on it very quickly. The new park will be called Disney MGM Studios. They first broke ground in 1986 with plans to open 2 years later, but eventually that got pushed back 1 year. The new park was going to be an actual working movie studio as well as a theme park. The theme park section will be themed to 1920s and 1930s Hollywood. And since every park has its icon, like how the Magic Kingdom has the castle and Epcot has Spaceship Earth, this park needed one too. The Imagineers decided that the famous Grauman's Chinese Theater from Hollywood would be the park's icon. And they actually used the exact blueprints from 1927 to build it. And this is where the main attraction of the park will be located. The same ride and concept that was going to be put in Epcot would be here, and this time would focus less on educating the guests because it wasn't in Epcot anymore, and more on immersing guests into the movies. They would call it the Great Movie Ride. The park opened on May 1st, 1981, and Michael Eisner read the dedication saying, "The world you have entered was created by the Walt Disney Company and is dedicated to Hollywood. Not a place on the map, but a state of mind that exists wherever people dream and wonder and imagine. A place where illusion and reality are fused by technological magic. We welcome you to a Hollywood that never was and always will be." Hollywood Studios has a very interesting history, and so if you would like me to dive into more of that, about how there was like an actual working movie studio over here and they produced movies like Mulan, let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, the Great Movie Ride would take guests on a long 20-minute journey through some of the most iconic films in movie history. Guests could go through scenes of Mary Poppins, Indiana Jones, Alien, and many more. And the whole ride was narrated with the cast member on board the vehicle. There was also a couple of live action scenes where cast members would act out the scene. In the gangster section, you were met with the gangster named Muggsy, who hijacks the ride vehicle and kicks the original driver out. There was also a cowboy scene that was more rare, which, like the gangster scene, a cowboy hijacks the car. The original cast member driver would return to the car after the Indiana Jones scene, where the cowboy or gangster couldn't keep their hands away from a certain jewel and it would turn them into a skeleton. After this video, if you've never been on the Great Movie Ride, I highly suggest watching a POV ride through of the ride. There was also a few things that were planned to be in the ride that never made it in there. There was supposed to be a comedy section with audio animatronic Charlie Chaplin. There was also a couple of plans for the ending of the ride to have different audio animatronics to appear, as well as the gangster or cowboy actor to take a final bow. But this of course was not realized, and the ending was basically just a montage of some of the greatest movies of all time. The Great Movie Ride entertained guests for years and years, and on July 15, 2017, Disney announced that the Great Movie Ride would be closing that August to make way for a new ride featuring Minnie and Mickey Mouse. It would be titled Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's actually going to be the very first Disney theme park attraction to feature Mickey or Minnie Mouse, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, that Mickey Mouse and Minnie have never had their own attraction. There were a lot of fans of the Great Movie Ride that were pretty upset when they announced that this was closing. I know I was a big fan of the Great Movie Ride, and I was kind of sad that it was going, but there was a lot of scenes that needed updating, plus Disney had to pay for the rights to use some of those scenes in that ride. But I know whatever they make over here for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is going to be pretty amazing, because Disney really doesn't disappoint with their newest rides. They really haven't made a bad ride. I don't even remember the last bad ride. Probably Stitch's Great Escape or something. So the Runaway Railway is actually set to open in spring of next year, 2020. Just a little bit less than 1 year until the Chinese theater has a ride in it once again. But that is the full history of the Great Movie Ride and the origins and backstory of how Disney MGM Studios was created, now called Hollywood Studios. And if you guys enjoyed the video, just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you learned something new, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I think it was pretty cool that how the Great Movie Ride was actually supposed to be in Epcot, but then Michael Eisner thought that this was such a great idea. Maybe he got a little bit of the idea from Universal wanting to build their theme park over here in Orlando. But anyways, I'm glad that this park is here today. Even though the Great Movie Ride is gone, I still have a lot of memories of it. And guys, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I do Disney history videos all the time. I do Disney vlogs, Disney tips, all kinds of theme park stuff. I go to Universal as well. So if you guys know any other theme park fans, Disney fans, the people that like to learn about theme park history, go ahead and share the channel with them. So did you guys ever experience the Great Movie Ride? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Tell me in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions for Disney history videos that you would like me to cover, go ahead and leave them in the comments below, or message me on Instagram. My Instagram is right there. It's at marcusq.mq. You can send me a DM over there. And thank you guys very much for watching. It's been a fun video to record. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And it's kind of fun to do the impossible. I will see you guys on the next video.